You can turn anyone into a manga character. There's some rules that you can follow, and I'm gonna show you in this video. Okay, let's begin. I will do a manga portrait out of Ashniko, one of my favorite musicians. First of all, I try to find the shape of the head. When you're doing a manga portrait, you need to see what shape of the head, what angle is the head in. And I'm gonna draw a middle line where you have the nose here and the mouth. And we can see it's in an angle, and also the eyes is in an angle like this. We can see the head is turned a little bit down. So I'm gonna draw the head as a circle to begin with, like this. This is where the brain is in the person. So this is the brain part of the head, and then we're gonna add the chins. But the chins, we'll have it a little bit in an angle, so I'll start with the middle line, a little bit in an angle, like she has turned her head a little bit, like this. This is the middle line where the nose and the mouth will be. Next step is the eye line, the line for the eyes. So you can see here in the middle. And then we add the chin and the cheeks, like this. I think I'll add a little bit more diagonal line for this one. You see how her head is a little bit turned downwards on this side. Next step is I look for the shape of the head. So I see she has high cheekbones, and she also has a sharp chin line like here. So I'm gonna give her a little bit more high cheekbones, like this. I'm gonna erase this line in the middle of the face. I don't need it anymore. It was just to make the circle round. But I want this high chin, this cheekbones to be high and pronounced like this. So now you can see we're already getting some shape. So when you do a caricature, you often bring out the bad things in the person's face and make them more pronounced. In manga, you prefer bringing out the good things and make them even more pretty or cool. Ashniko has this sharp cheekbone, but you have to look at the portrait that you're working from. Is there a round chin? Do they have fluffy cheeks or maybe very straight cheeks? The shape of the head is the first thing you need to look at when you do a manga portrait. Next step is the eyes. The eyes are very important in manga. That's where you have the expressions and a lot of the personality. And you often do them quite big. The realistic portrait of a person is more, as you can see, this size of the eyes. I'm gonna make them even bigger to make them more expressive and interesting. And manga. So she has very round eyes, as you can see. They have a certain shape, so I'm gonna try to mimic the shape but make them bigger. So first of all, I'm gonna mark approximately how big I want the eyes to be, like this. Quite big and manga. I'm trying to make the space between the eyes almost as big as the eyes. So I'm gonna make this eye a little bit smaller, like this. This is just the markings for where the eye will start and end. And now when I draw the eyes, I'm gonna make them at the same time on both sides to make them equal. So I'll do the first part here. You can see how her eyes is up, down, and a rounded underside. So up and down. And to make it more manga, I'm gonna make the lower eyelid quite far down, like this. And it's gonna be round. Her pupils are very light, so I'm gonna shade them a little bit, but not too much. I'm gonna make round iris, like this. And in the middle you have the pupil, like this. I'm gonna add some highlights. You have the lightning reflection here, but I'm gonna add some more just because I think it's very manga and it makes usually the character more cute or pretty. So this way. And some shadow on the top here, less shadow below to make a gradient like this. It's a good way to create a shadow in the eye. And I'm gonna add, you see above the eye there's a little bit of a crease of the skin. So I'm gonna add that crease. And then I'm gonna add some eyelashes as well. So now we have the eyes, very manga. Next step, I'm gonna make the eyebrows. And Ashniko has very wide and long eyebrows. So I'm gonna make wide and long eyebrows, not too angry. She has a little bit, you can see how her expression in the face is very flat. So I'm gonna make them straight like this. And I'm gonna shade it a little bit gray, like this. Because she has quite dark eyebrows. Next step, I'm gonna make the nose. And she has quite a thin nose, a long and thin nose. So I'm gonna make a shadow here for the nose ridge, like this, and then long down nose. And in manga, the nose doesn't really describe a feeling and an emotion. So usually the nose is not that important, but you need to have something there. So I'm gonna add just a little bit of a shape of a nose. I'm gonna make it a little bit cuter, so not so much nose ridge and a little bit of a nose down here. The next step is the mouth. And as you can see, Ashnika has very full lower lip and very marked upper lip. First of all, I'm gonna make the line for the mouth, like this. We have a corner and one corner, like this. And then I'm gonna make the shape of the mouth. You see how there's a pronounced shape here of the mouth. So I'm gonna make that like this. And then just mark a shadow under the lower lip to mark the shape of the lower lip and make it full. The upper lip have this very marked shape here. So I'm gonna add a little bit of a line up here to show that there's a crease up here, or like a part that it goes down, to show the shape of the mouth. When doing the mouth, sometimes you can make it rounder or longer or smaller or bigger. It all depends on what your reference is, or if you have some certain personality for the character that you want. If the character is very energetic and talkative, maybe they should have a big mouth. So you can decide what kind of personality the character has and then make the mouth out of that. So far we've made a head and a face. Let's do the hair as well. We see that Ashnika have very long bangs. They start up here on the top of the head. First of all, I'm gonna draw a line around the head, kind of like a cap, and the hair will be outside of this, because when we draw manga, we really want the manga to be fluffy hair and big hairdos, so don't make the hair too close to the head. So the top of the head is up here, so I'm gonna make the bangs from the top of the head all the way down. And you see they're almost, not all the way down to the eyebrows, but a bit above the eyebrows. So let's take up here is gonna be where the bangs end. I'm gonna make one line and then the next line. I'm gonna actually add some lines next to it. You see how they spread out? They are starting at one point and then they separate because the hair separate. I'm gonna do the same thing here. I'm gonna add one more line in between. And you see how the line I'd made here continue and then hook to another line. And that way it looks like there's hair. So by hooking them a little bit like this, it looks like they actually connect together. I'm gonna do this, add some more lines in between. They separate and then I hook them together like this. And next, the rest of the hair. You see the hair is going down this way. It's actually very uncombed and untreated, so there's a lot of hair strings and stuff. We can be a little bit messy with hairstyle. So I'm gonna make some hair that stands up and some hair that's just messing here a little bit. And then the rest is going down, as you can see. One string is out here, and the rest is continuing down. And you see there's a big lump in the middle because it's laying on her shoulder like this. I'm gonna make this into a lump like this. I'm gonna simplify it, not make every hair string. I'm just gonna make simple, like collect the hair into lumps. That's much easier to repeat and to draw. So don't make every hair string, just do some hair string here and there, and that feels like hair. The result will look like hair. Play around with it, just make many shapes. The important thing with hair is they don't stick together. It's not straight lines, it's flowy lines, and they go all over. So you don't have to be like careful with making it look a certain way or have straight lines or like very particular lines. It's more important that you use the flow of the lines. We see there we have a collar. I'm gonna add this collar as well. A collar here of the shirt, some kind of zipper. Can add a little bit of a zipper here. You can just simplify even the clothing. So I'm just gonna add these kind of lines they have. Just adding few details is enough to see that this is a shirt of some kind and some kind of sports jacket on top. And that's enough for the eye to understand that this is clothing, and we don't need to draw every detail and all the creases and shadows. It's more about finding the details that are important and making them look the same in your picture. You can go over the picture and add shadows as you want, but pretty much this is a manga portrait. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Make sure to follow Domestika on social media, and if you are interested in learning more about how to draw manga, Check out my courses on Domestika.